precise and control.
I see things that you don't. Honey, I see things that you do not see. I know who your husband is, you don't. I know who he is, you don't. You don't even know him. Your husband is going places. He has to have the right people push him. Not push like, in a negative push. No, he has to have the right people to say, look over there, that's God right there. Now go on over there and talk to God. That's who you are right there. Your husband is a mighty man. He's a mighty man. You don't know who you got, Lois. And you don't know who you are. You don't know. And I know you don't know. Nobody could pull out of you what's in there. Nobody. And nobody not supposed to. You got a destiny. You got 15 years of building this church right here. You got 15 years of building this church right here, Lois. 15 years of your work, your blood, your sweat, your tears, your money, your kids,
I was well aware of all I had sacrificed. Phil, the boys, and I loved to serve, and we would spend countless hours cleaning, practicing, and serving where needed. We gave freely and cheerfully. We would even donate quality and brand new goods to the church that my father would take, sell, and pocket the proceeds.
And it's okay that Tay and them with his auntie, that's okay. Oh yeah, that's all right. But when all of that is gone, when all that is over, he has a place. He has a church of his own. This is his blood. This is a foundation.
They are blood too, but my father always felt that my son's paternal family were beneath him.
You go up to Detroit. Nobody's gonna pastor Elder Haddon's church but his children and his grandchildren, baby. Nobody. You know that ain't gonna work. Nobody's gonna pastor Charles's church. He's got too many kids.
He's referring to my uncles who both have churches. Elder Haddon is my famous cousin's father who is a bishop in Detroit. I guess you can call him my father's archenemy, like the Hatfields and the McCoys. Church edition. Supposedly, Bishop Haddon tried to kill my father back in the 80s when he was a young minister. That's why we had to flee Detroit. Hell, we fled the entire country and moved to Germany to escape the threat. I believed it most of my life. I didn't know any better. Now I know my father was just jealous of them, and we all know how irrational a jealous person is. In case you don't, he got mad at my cousin for not inviting him to be on the Preachers of LA show. We don't live in LA unless he assumed it stood for Lower Alabama.
Nobody's gonna handle the church. Nobody's gonna stand at the gate. Nobody's gonna stand at the gate of this church right here. It's not by accident that George Jr. is at that door. It's not by accident. It's not by accident. Nobody can harm me. Nobody can harm me. But people may shoot in missiles, innuendos, mess, past and all that. They can't hurt me. Not with my kids at the gate. My kids are there.
I existed to provide all of this to him. I existed to serve him. We all did. He told us as much. The provisions, protection, acceptance, emotional support, and unconditional love were what I needed, but my father craved it like an addiction. And if he didn't get what he wanted, I didn't get what I needed.
You're mine, Lois. You my baby. You my sugar. I don't care if you're mad at me. You're mine. I'll die for you, and you know it.
If a narcissistic parent raised you, you know what it's like to feel like something is wrong with you, like something just isn't quite right. As you grow, you come to accept that it's you. It becomes something that you carry, a burden that you are sure other people can see, but only you can feel. In the depths of your soul, you believe that nothing you do is good enough, that your existence is a burden that you must reconcile. I remember feeling embarrassed growing up and wondering if other family members could see who he really was, or if the people at church knew what he was doing to us at home. It didn't appear that anybody did. He seemed to be everything everyone else needed. I was disappointed and hurt when I realized that my family was not like our extended family. My father didn't want them to see, to recognize that he didn't treat us right. He didn't want us talking to people about what was going on in our home, so he distanced us and found reasons to maintain the distance. That's why he counted on me believing this lie. Most of my cousins left their parents' church even if they eventually went back, but I'm sure none of their fathers tried to manipulate and coerce them to stay. I never expected my father to be perfect. A child doesn't even know what perfection is, but that's what he expected of me. Just like any little girl, I innocently wanted to please my father, and I wanted his attention, affection, and love. I feel like I sacrificed myself for it. But I don't remember making art, or coloring pictures or making him a special breakfast or whatever normal little girls do. He would accept nothing less than a grand display in front of the entire church and repeated declarations of lifelong loyalty and duty. He could have chosen any route to go with me, with any of us. This control that he seemed to be in pursuit of, he had all along. So I sang, I served, I was dedicated, and I was loyal. I presented my accomplishments, achievements, education, and abilities as gifts to my father, but my presentations were never enough. I didn't get the satisfaction of feeling like I was enough, regardless of my achievements. It was never enough to just be me.
Daughter, Provoked. What happens when the one meant to guide your soul becomes its greatest harm? The pastor's daughter. Provoked dives fearlessly into the life of Delores Michelle Peters, uncovering the harrowing truths of a family ensnared by spiritual abuse. Through riveting accounts and raw recordings, Delores reveals her journey of breaking free from a narcissistic pastor father who betrayed his calling. Discover how she turned pain into power and a debilitating past into a compelling memoir for redemption, vindication, and justice. It's time to reclaim your voice and take the first step towards spiritual freedom. Order The Pastor's Daughter, Provoked today on Amazon, and embrace your path toward recovery.